From an officer taking advantage of a vulnerable woman, to one targeting a teen online, to a deadly shooting in front of a kid, these stories show the dark side of power and how justice deals with it.
You betrayed her, you betrayed your fellow officers, you betrayed them mightily, the public trust all of us had.
So make sure to buckle up and stick till the end.
As a police officer who took an oath to protect and serve the community, what you did to me was wrong. You raped me. You knew I was highly intoxicated, yet you used that as a selfish opportunity. My life has been forever changed, every aspect of my life.
Our first incident happened on July 9, 2016, during a traffic stop in Covert Township, Minnesota. Officer Eric Fritz, on duty, pulled over a car driven by an intoxicated man. As the night proceeded, the victim, Melissa McMillan, who happened to be the passenger, ended up being scarred for the rest of her life. Extremely vulnerable, her judgment clouded by alcohol, her defenses down. What should have been a standard procedure spiraled into a chilling abuse of power.
And sir, you are Eric Fritz?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're here today with your attorney, Mr. Grable. Have you had a full and complete opportunity to consult with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand that you face today a possible maximum penalty of 15 years in prison?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you ready for sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
As we see Fritz standing in the courtroom without the slightest presence of guilt on his face, his victim, Melissa McMillan, couldn't stop herself from breaking down. The victim further explains the after effects the incident has had on her life, as she battles post-traumatic stress disorder haunted by that night, her life and her children's forever altered.
I can't see a police vehicle without feeling fear or be reminded of what happened. I made a poor decision to have too many drinks, putting myself in a vulnerable position. I don't remember leaving the bar that night. My friends had arranged for another person to drive my car, and I was far too intoxicated. I had no idea the driver was also intoxicated and would get pulled over by a police officer.
The court then gives Officer, or should we say ex-officer Fritz, a chance to speak, which seemed extremely superficial.
Mr. Fritz, anything you wish to tell me?
Yes, Your Honor. First, I'd like to apologize to my friends and family who I've actually let down. I'd also like to apologize for my coworkers who I embarrassed by my decisions. I'd also like to apologize to the people of Covert Township for my actions that night. And I absolutely would like to apologize for Ms. McMillan for my horrific decision of offering her a hotel room. I never should offer her a hotel room in the first place. It never should happen. I never should have put her in that situation.
The court also released footage of the night Eric stopped McMillan's car and checking it for marijuana.
Melissa said he was.
I don't know. Are you gonna put your...
God!
Do you have a problem with me looking in the car to make sure there's no marijuana so I can smell it?
Honey?
Can I look in your car and make sure there's no marijuana?
Oh my God, you can look in this car. I am a nurse.
Okay.
There's nothing
Can
in
you
there.
do me a favor and stand right about here for me? Where my light is?
Yes.
Can you stand or can you not? You were going to be putting them on a couple minutes ago, so...
No, I had a skirt on.
Where's your shirt at?
I don't know, it's in this car. But I was driving. He was driving. I was driving.
Your shirt is in the car? I do not see a shirt
I know,
anywhere.
I don't either. What did he say?
Okay. Do me a favor. Come on, stand out here for me, all right, Melissa?
Look.
You don't want to kick that shoe. There you go. That'd probably be better here. I'll throw your shoe on the floor for you.
Yeah,
You can just leave that there. That's fine. Do me a favor. Hang on.
Ex-husband.
Hang on. Right there in the corner of the car for me, okay?
It's okay.
That's all right. There's no reason for you to be sorry.
Here, the victim is seen leaving the intoxicated driver's car after finding her skirt, and will be leaving with the man who's about to change the trajectory of her life forever.
Come on, Melissa. I need you to hop out.
Yes, sir. Let me get my stuff.
You got everything?
Yes, I'm okay.
All right.
Go here. Look at makeup.
It's right next to you. Right there.
Okay, it hurt, doesn't it? I'm
Okay.
sorry.
That's okay. I know. You even misplaced it. Come on with me. I know. You'll get it straightened out. You'll get it straightened out. I need you to come with me, Melissa.
I know you need me to get out of this car right now.
I know you.
I'm going to see you right now. talking to me about right now.
I'll get you.
I'm sorry, I'm calling you.
That's okay.
It's a call to an officer.
As seen in the footage, Melissa happens to be extremely intoxicated and doesn't remember majority of the night.
Tell me what your first recall is after leaving Captain Lou's.
It's so hard to remember because everything is so blurry and being on the side of the road,
You do remember that?
very, very vaguely, yes.
Lay down in one of the beds that was in that room.
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember doing that, or?
No.
Okay. Did there come a point in time, or do you have any memory of the officer returning to the hotel room?
No.
Okay. And when is your next memory of seeing the officer there in the hotel room, if at all?
The next memory I have is he was on top of me.
After arresting the drunk driver, Fritz checked Melissa into a hotel and continued his shift. But Eric's filthy plans were to be executed after his shift as he went to the same hotel and claimed to have consensual intimate relations with the victim. However, Melissa claimed that she woke up to the officer on top of her, negating any possibility of a conversation between them that might have led to it. Needless to say, matters only got worse for him from there, as Judge Kathleen M. Brickley expressed a harsh disapproval and talked about the damage he'd done to the relationship between general public and the police.
You took a law enforcement oath of honor to protect and to serve and to uphold the highest of ethical standards. Instead, you preyed upon and exploited and damaged a woman who was entirely helpless due to excessive intoxication. Even more disturbing to this court is the fact that you used your badge and the authority and power it grants you as a means to implement your criminality. You betrayed her, you betrayed your fellow officers, you betrayed mightily the public trust all of us had.
Eric Fritz was sentenced Monday to 1 year in jail, with credit for 1 day served and 5 years probation in Van Buren County Court. Fritz pleaded no contest to 1 count of unlawful imprisonment after originally being charged with sexual assault and kidnapping.
To the individual who's asking for the price of $50 again, which is in reference to the March 26th incident. The child essentially says that's too low. I'm 14. I'm young, and you're asking me to commit a crime. And the defendant responds with, "How about 80?"
Our second case focuses on a serious misconduct allegation involving a 58-year-old Boston officer named Paul Downey. In late March 2025, he began chatting with a minor on a social app. That conversation later shifted to another platform where he crossed a legal boundary by offering something inappropriate. Here we have footage of his heinous crimes being read out loud during the court proceedings.
Mr. Downey is alleged to have penetrated the anus of the child, utilizing his finger on the first offense, and then utilizing his also on the first offense. And then on the second offense, which was the May 11th offense, he's alleged to have had the child perform oral sex on him and then penetrated the child's anus again with his penis. The Commonwealth's evidence to lead to the identification of Mr. Downey started with a forensic interview of that child. Through that forensic interview, the Commonwealth was able to collect screenshots from Snapchat for the communications that the Commonwealth alleges was Mr. Downey, where they are negotiating a price. The child says to the individual who's asking for the price of $50 again, which is in reference to the March 26th incident. The child essentially says that's too low. I'm 14. I'm young, and you're asking me to commit a crime. And the defendant responds with, "How about 80?"
Can you believe it? He had the nerve to negotiate with a teenage and was vile enough to pay a higher price just to act on his evil desires. However, to his dismay, the child ended up contacting the police and helped in identifying him by giving relevant information.
The process of the identification, as well as the juvenile also provided us with a partial plate of the vehicle, a description of the suspect, and a description of the vehicle that was utilized. We also had text message communications with the juvenile's friend, who he was having a sleepover with that night, that provided us a very detailed window of when he was picked up by the defendant and when he was dropped off by the defendant. Utilizing that information, we were able to collect video surveillance from the South Bay Mall off an apartment building that's facing a parking lot area that was described by that juvenile.
Not only that, but the way his car was identified and social media apps were used to identify Officer Downey was also briefly explained.
We initially did a partial plate query with no results. Once we learned that Mr. Downey was a member of the Boston Police Department and actively working at Boston Police Headquarters, the Massachusetts State Police went and did a canvass of the area, of the different parking areas for Boston Police HQ, found a vehicle matching the description that was missing the first digit and was 1 digit off on the plate from what the juvenile provided. That license plate came back again to Mr. Paul Downey with the same address that was used from the records that were received from Comcast. The same phone number that was on Snapchat was also associated with Comcast, and the phone that was recovered off from Mr. Downey also had that same phone number, the phone being what was recovered at the time of arrest. Lastly, as the last step, we did a photo array with the juvenile in question on Friday, and the juvenile initially made a positive ID with a 90% certainty of that identity. The positive ID was a licensed R&B photo of Paul Downey. So with the evidence that's pushed against Mr. Downey, understanding he has no record.
To make sure that ex-Officer Downey doesn't flee the state, a bail of $250,000 was requested to the court.
The evidence that we have and the strengths of the Commonwealth's case, as well as his financial resources, the Commonwealth does suggest to this court that a $250,000 cash bail is necessary to ensure his return to court. And relating to the pretrial conditions of release, the Commonwealth would suggest those conditions of release are necessary to ensure the safety of the victim and any potential future victims.
And the worst part? This wasn't the first time the officer was involved in such matters. A similar incident occurred on May 11th with the same teenager who was offered $80 for another meeting involving intercourse near the same parking lot close to the South Bay Mall. However, Public Defender Vanessa Campbell, representing Downey for bail purposes, pointed out the sergeant has no prior criminal record and argued there's nothing to suggest he wouldn't appear for subsequent court dates. And, just like her client, who's now a publicly known pedophile, she tried to negotiate with the court for a lower cash bail.
Recognizing the severity of the allegations that are before the court today and recognizing the Commonwealth's request, the primary purpose of bail is to ensure Mr. Downey's reappearance in court. And he has no record, there's no indication that he otherwise would not come to court. $250 is far outside of the realm of what he can post. What I would ask Your Honor to do is impose no more than a $40,000 cash bail, as that is the upper limit of what his family could post.
In an attempt to clean up her client's image, Public Defender Campbell tried to humanize him more and more by talking about his social standing and relationships with people.
I think with respect to Mr. Downey and his family, he does have some family in the audience today. He does live with his 25-year-old child full-time. He is a high school graduate. He's a military veteran of the Marine Corps. Obviously, as Your Honor knows, he was a member of the Boston Police for 30-plus years, obviously attended the academy as a result of that. He's been in Boston his entire life, has several cousins and other family members here. He is not a risk of flight. He has been, and all accounts suggest that he has been nothing but compliant and cordial with not only his arrest, but also today as he has been here.
Eventually, once both sides were done presenting themselves, the judge came forward with the verdict.
All right, thank you both. I do find that the serious nature of the charges that Mr. Downey faces, as well as the potential penalties on all of these, on the multiple counts, and his financial resources do pose a risk of flight. So the bill will be set in the amount of $250,000 cash.
And just like that, the defender's plea to knock down the bail to $40,000 was rejected. Ex-Officer Downey was charged with 4 counts of aggravated rape of a child, 2 counts of engaging in sexual conduct with a child under 18 for a fee, and 2 counts of enticing a child under the age of 18 to engage in commercial sexual activity.
Did you know if your auntie was hurt?
Yes, sir.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking, is it a dream?
How did you think she was hurt?
Because she was crying and just shaking.
Our last case revolves around the Fort Worth police officer Aaron Dean and the murder of Adatiana Coquiche Jefferson, who was not only a pre-medical graduate, but dedicated her life to taking care of her mother and her nephew. It all started on October 12, 2019, when someone from Atatiana's neighborhood called the police to inform them about the open door of a house. The police was dispatched immediately, wrongfully treating the call as a burglary report. Around that time, Atatiana was playing video games with her nephew when the police decided to barge in, without showing any orders or legal permission to do so. Here's what the 8-year-old had to say.
Did you know if your auntie was hurt?
Yes, sir.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking, is it a dream?
How did you think she was hurt?
Because she was crying and just shaking.
What happened when the 2 policemen came into the bedroom?
They seen me and they told me to get up and they took me to the back of a police car.
Did one police officer take you or both of them?
Both of them.
Both of them? Are you sure it wasn't just the woman police officer?
No, sir. Like, the man, he walked a little bit, but then the lady told him, like, to go check on her. Like, when we got halfway, like, right there by the kitchen, so he did.
By the entrance of what?
Huh?
By the entrance of what?
Repeat what you just said. So
Oh, she told the man to go check on her. Go check on my auntie to see if she was still alive, and he said okay.
Did you know if your auntie was still alive at that point?
Yes, sir.
Not only did Officer Dean shot an innocent woman to death, but to make things worse, which no one thought could be possible, he did it in front of Atatiana's 8-year-old nephew, scarring him for life.
Did you find out about what happened to your auntie?
After a couple of days, when I stayed with my mama, when she came and got me from the place,
And what did you find out had happened?
I seen she died, so when I seen she died, I went to my mama and asked her, is that true?
Did you find out it was true?
Yes, sir.
How'd that make you feel?
I was very upset.
Were you upset that night?
I
Did it happen?
I wasn't upset, I was confused because I didn't know if it was a dream and if I wasn't waking up still.
Despite having a witness, attempts were made to defend Officer Dean by claiming that the victim waved a gun at him, which lead things to getting out of hand.
As soon as Aaron enters the backyard, he sees a silhouette in the window. Aaron sees that silhouette in the window, and that silhouette has a firearm. That silhouette has a firearm with a green laser mounted on the front rail of that firearm, pointed directly at Aaron, closer than me to you to the window. Aaron has an air conditioning unit to his right, a gate and obstruction of a fence to his left, and his partner is butt cheek to butt cheek behind him. He has no place to go. He takes a half a step back, gives the commands, as part of training, draws his weapon for the first and only time right then, and fires one shot. And tragically, Tatiana Jefferson is killed as a result of that.
However, the nephew claims otherwise.
It's okay if you remember it. I mean, I just want you to remember it exactly the way you do. Do you remember if she had the gun up or down?
Down.
Down. Are you sure she didn't have it up at all?
No, sir.
As if that wasn't enough, Officer Dean insisted to come to the witness stand and give his 2 cents on the entire situation.
Had you completed your investigation before you opened that gate?
No, we had not. I needed to see that person's hands, because the hands carry weapons. The hands are the threat to us. So I looked back after I got my light on, saw the silhouette again, and I was shouting at this time, shouting commands. Put up your hands. Show me your hands. Show me your hands. And as I started to get that second phrase out, show me your hands, I saw the silhouette. I was looking right down the barrel of a gun. And when I saw the barrel of that gun pointed at me, I fired a single shot from my duty weapon.
Sensing the fact that he hasn't really helped his case, he tried to present the logic the Academy had taught them.
Because we're taught to meet deadly force with deadly force. We're not taught that we have to wait. Anytime we have a threat of deadly force, we can use deadly force to defend ourselves or someone else from that threat of deadly force.
However, nothing helped his case, and he did get what he deserved at the end.
Verdict reads, we the jury, having found the defendant Aaron York Dean guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of the offense of manslaughter, assess his punishment at confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for 11 years, 10 months, 12 days. They do not assess a fine. And it is signed by the presiding juror. You may be seated. Thank you very much.
As Judge George Gallagher read the jury's verdict on Tuesday, Dean did not display emotion after learning he could spend over a decade in prison. With that being said, that's all for today's video. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and turn on the post notifications so you don't miss out on any new content. See you in the next one.